I've been very impressed with Wilton. Wilton is a conceptual learner, and so some of the things that we've put on his plate up until this point in the spring, I mean, he was a quick study. And football is important to Wilton. Winning is important to Wilton. So very impressed with him.
When you look at it from kind of, I don't want to say like you're inheriting a quarterback, but he was here before you got here. I mean, what are the challenges of that? Because he was actually here before Jim got here as well. So I mean,
right.
What are kind of the challenges of stepping in and having a guy who's already been tabbed the starter and just kind of going from there?
I wouldn't say that it's a challenge for me. I think it's probably more of a challenge for Wilton to adjust to a different style of coaching than what he was used to or what he had, in years past. So, but we hadn't had any issues. I think Wilton understands that as the quarterback for the University of Michigan, the expectations are out the roof, and he's up to the challenge.
You've moved. I'm sorry, over here. When you've moved back to the college game from the pro game, do you have to change how you coach or your expectation level when you're dealing with a college kid as opposed to who you're dealing with in the pros?
No, you don't have to change how you coach, but you have less time with your players, and I think it's it's more of a challenge when you try and put a lot of volume or put a lot on their plate to get them to the point to where they can handle all of the information and all the strategy that you try and implement at times. But the kids here, at the University of Michigan, they're tough and they're smart. So they've been able to adjust and adapt to some of the concepts, for example, that we're going to use this upcoming season.
Why come back to the college level?
I want to win a national championship.
You use the term conceptual learner with Wilton. Is he different? Obviously every guy's different, but as far as how different is he as teaching wise, learning wise? You mentioned that he was a conceptual learner.
Right.
Have all your past quarterbacks, do they fit into that category as being conceptual learners?
Well, not all of them, but it's preferred that you have guys that understand the why, that get it the first time, and I think it helps them to ultimately be good decision makers post snap, and that's something that you see in Wilton when you watch him. You just go back and watch his film. He can manage bad plays, and he does a good job of playing situational football.
You've been around a lot of teams over the years. How does this team compare talent-wise to some of the better ones you've had?
I don't know. I don't know just yet. I think we have a lot of young talent, but you can't teach experience. I think it's important that, these kids get an opportunity to get out there and practice and then get in the film room and learn from some of their mistakes and then continue to put the work in, all right, in their spare time. They have tough decisions to make. When they're not studying, do I pick up the Xbox controller or pick up my iPad and continue to study the playbook? And we've challenged them to do just that, and they seem very receptive to our challenges.
Pep, you said you came back to college because you want to win a national title. Is there a difference between chasing a college title and a pro title, or was it to work with Jim again, or was it more than just, I want to win a title?
Yeah, I think it's different. It's different without a doubt. I think it's a lot more fulfilling to have an opportunity to coach a young man and watch him mature and grow to be an adult. And I had that opportunity at Stanford. I had an opportunity to coach some guys on the college level and then coach them well into their pro careers. And but it's it's fun to watch them grow and develop and realize their full potential as players over the years.
What have you seen from the receivers so far?
A lot of raw talent. A lot of raw talent. Guys that are explosive, guys that are fast, but guys that have a lot of work to do to be able to just consistently win versus man coverage.
So block and route running?
All the above, yeah.
The season started today. Who would be the starters? Who would be the backups?
I don't know. That's a tough question.
You mentioned you can't teach experience. What do you
Right.
have to do to turn that raw talent? What are the biggest tasks in turning that raw talent into?
Well, just to continue to make sure that in practice that we're working on the things that they need to work on to ultimately be able to go out and win one-on-one matchups as receivers, for the quarterbacks to be able to go out and execute our offense at a high level to manage bad plays. I'll continue to say that, just and just be playmakers, score the ball at the receiver position, throw touchdowns as a quarterback. Our runners, they have to create their own yards and they have to run touchdowns. It's our job as an offensive unit to score the ball, and that's what we've been charged with, and that's our challenge.
What'd you take from Hugh Jackson, your 1 year there in Cleveland?
Oh, wow. He was consistent in his energy in which he challenged the players.
Is that something, do you think you've done that in the past, or is that something you want to better incorporate into your methods?
Oh, no, I've done it in the past. I don't know that, I've been around other head coaches, that have been as involved in all aspects of motivating the players on a daily basis.
Sounds like Kugler's getting a lot of reps with the one at center. You see a rapport between him and Wilton at this point? Are they working pretty well together?
Well, no, we're rotating our centers.
Okay.
Kugler's getting rep, Caesar's gotten reps, Mason Cole's gotten reps, and it's still early in the process, so we'll see.
The players mentioned you've brought some new terminology with you. Have there been any other changes you've made to the style of offense, maybe the play calling?
No, not really. I think, just how we call plays or how we call plays. I think a lot of what we're going to do is just a continuation of what we did at Stanford, when Coach Harbaugh was there. And we're adapting to our players as opposed to our guys having to adapt to a new system.
Obviously, it's not all the way there yet, but how quick did the relationship with Wilton develop between the two of you?
I don't know. I think you would have to ask Wilton. I don't know that I would call it a relationship. I think we have a good understanding of what my job is, and that's to help Wilton to be the best Wilton that he can be.
What have you seen from Caesar so far as a true freshman coming in here?
Wow, he's well ahead of what you would expect from a kid that was in high school, 3 or 4 months ago. As a mid-year transfer, just his approach to the game, and as well as just his physical talent.
Well, Wilton said with you, he personally related to. He was talking about how your son comes around and you throw the ball back and forth with him. He related to that because of him and his dad. Do you feel like it's a football thing and not a personal thing mostly? But what's it been like getting to know him and making this your home personally?
Well, I think once we finish spring ball and maybe while we're over in Europe, we'll have a chance to actually sit down and get to know each other better. A lot of our time is spent just grinding on football right now, and thank goodness, Wilton is mature enough to manage all his affairs very well off the field, and so it's been all ball all the time.
Mechanics-wise, was there anything that jumped out you liked about him? You wanted to change? How'd you evaluate him that way?
I thought that he had above average physical stature for the position. He can function from the pocket. He has great field vision, and he can deliver the ball under duress. And I felt like that was an extreme positive. And there are some things that we have to work on, but he's still a work in progress in that regard. And I don't know that I want to divulge into too much information about the specifics of what we're working on.
How much of the fact that you'd worked with Jim previously has made this transition easier or less stressful? Maybe?
Well, that factored largely into my decision to be a part of his program. I know that Coach is going to find a way to win, and his teams always win. And it was important for myself as well as it is for the rest of our staff to have an opportunity to win.
What's it like going up against the Don Brown defense?
Oh, wow, it's a headache. Yeah, it's a headache. From day one, you're preparing for things that are extreme, should I say. But at the same time, iron sharpens iron, and it gives us a great opportunity to test our rules, test the rules of our protections, and it forces us to communicate and solve problems on the fly.
After having spent a couple, time in college and then going to the NFL and then coming back, how has that helped you as a coach to kind of get a little bit different perspective?
Well, I've had a chance to learn from my mistakes. I survived some of my mistakes, not all of them. And I feel like I'm better prepared to help these young men to realize their full potential.
Is there anything that you take away from the pro game that you're able to maybe implement into the college game that wasn't?
Oh, there's a lot. You know, there's a lot, and most of that is probably schematics. You know, just strategy, but we'll see. You know, in time, and we'll see if we can improve. You know, our overall function and efficiency as an offense.
Does it help having a guy who's already started here as opposed to coming here and then having to develop that starter? You already have a guy who's been there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It really helped to be able to go back and watch last season's film and have a great idea of what his strengths are. And now we can build on his strengths, and it should help us to once we start playing games to really come up with a strategy that's going to give us the best chance to score touchdowns.
Is there anything different in how you approach Donovan and Tariq being true freshmen coming in at the wide receiver spot? Do you do anything different with them just because they're learning it for the first time?
Well, no, you can't. You know, there are rules, and you know, with regards to the amount of time that you can spend with your guys. But when they're young, and you ask them to do something, if they ask why, you tell them because I said so.
How have those two been doing?
Good. They've done well.
How about the other quarterbacks? Are they pushing well at all?
Oh, absolutely. They're all working hard. They all want to play. They're all very talented, but you know, I think that's just part of it. You know, only one guy can play, and you know, Wilton has an opportunity to continue his growth and development as the leader of this program, and I'm sure he will.
Prior to coming here, I mean, I know you were busy in Cleveland, but had you ever heard of Wilton? Had you ever got a chance to see him play? Or was it, you know, you come here, get the job, and that's when you were introduced to him?
Well, I actually had a chance to watch Wilton play lacrosse when he was in high school. I was recruiting a defensive end that was at Collegiate High School down in Richmond, Virginia. I was coaching at Stanford at the time, and I went and watched the kid play in a lacrosse game, and I saw this 6'5", you know, scrawny lacrosse player out there that was extremely quick and athletic for his size, and it was brought to my attention that, you know, that was Wilton Spade, and you know, he's the quarterback of the team, and I think they told me that he was going to NC State or something at the time, and lo and behold, I have an opportunity to work with him.
Kind of odd years later now.
Yeah, absolutely.
When did you place the connection that guy you watched play lacrosse a bunch of years ago is near you?
Oh no, I knew. Yeah, I knew as soon as I, you know, decided to be a part of Coach Harbaugh's program. You know, who I was going to have an opportunity to work with.
See you get lacrosse?
It was pretty good. I don't know much about lacrosse, but
Thanks, Coach.
all right, thanks, guys.